These young men are hitting themselves in the face with hammers, even saucepans.
Bro,
Get this.
He definitely needs this shit, actually, though. That's the thing. He actually needs it.
They think it will improve their look.
Or she, maybe.
It's called looksmaxing, and it's being promoted on social media by 20-year-old Graydon Peters, a controversial influencer who calls himself Clavicular and has 800,000 followers.
You gotta hit the chin hard.
Bro, do you think this is just a grift, or is he really doing this shit?
I wonder if he's trying to see how many people would do it. You know, like how many of you dummies are going to hit yourself with hammers and record it?
Listen, like I know, I'm not that familiar with the guy, so it's not like I have like some kind of profile on him to wonder if he's actually into this and believes in what he's doing.
I mean, he's friends with Nick Fuentes, so I don't know.
Nick has talked about looksmaxing too. He's like, I got a looksmax. It was my favorite video I ever watched of him. He's like, I'm on a diet. I'm freaking hungry. Like, so funny. I actually have a video about, but yeah, they're definitely friends. And Nick's all about looksmaxing too, I guess.
Could you picture Nick Fuentes sitting there hitting himself in the face with that? Him and Clavicular. I don't know if I could see it.
Fucking Kanye walking back and forth like, yeah, man, can you believe these motherfuckers talking about me, man? They're just like, I know, man. I know my N-word, my jigga. Yeah, man.
I feel like you watch this stuff long enough, you're gonna want to hit yourself in the face with a hammer.
Oh man. Well, let's hope that's not the case.
His off-the-wall message on 60 Minutes Australia.
When you break down a bone, it grows back stronger. So you're intentionally creating these traumas, typically on your cheekbones, your chin.
But he walked out of that interview moments after he was asked about links between looksmaxing and incels, guys who hate women.
How do you feel about being linked to that group? Thanks for the time. Appreciate the interview.
So yeah, it's pretty obvious right off rip that this dude and anybody who buys into what this dude is selling are mildly fucking retarded. But that's not the only really
Yo, shout out to JD Delay.
our method of trying to look your best that he's encouraging young people to do. He's also telling people that they should be meth maxing because if they do crystal meth, it'll give them a hollow cheek look.
Bro, that's part of looksmaxing. That's his program.
That's trolling. It just
we'll wait till it gets better.
Victor's life took a dark turn earlier this week when he appeared to suffer an overdose in a Miami nightclub during a live stream.
Rescue 16, 20-year-old male overdose.
He was carried out and taken to the hospital. This morning, he posted, just got home. That was brutal.
Oh my God, how shocking. Whoever would have thought that using crystal meth could be dangerous? Except anybody who's ever heard of crystal meth or what it does or seen the show Breaking Bad or seen those old posters back in the day called Faces of Meth. So it's not hard to figure out how this dude would have trouble being on social media platforms based off just those two things alone. But then on top of that, there's all the weird sexual shit he's always getting into on live streams.
You want to put some of that lipstick on my dick?
Why is it so hard?
Bro, the guy is literally live streaming. He's got like a kid. I think he's got a kid or a girl, bro. And so he didn't get banned for any of this. He got banned for something different. It's so wild, bro.
Do you see this?
Yeah. What about it?
Bro, thanks for Alice.
Oh, maybe I should call Alice.
Did you call Alice?
Yeah.
Do you have a girlfriend?
Do you have a baby mama? You always gotta kill the vibe.
Do you have a baby mama? I'm not killing
He's
the vibe.
live streaming with his junk out and two chicks, and he's like, "Why you gotta kill the vibe?" Mentioning my girl. Kid, like,
bro.
Oh my gosh, bro.
No, you're just killing the vibe.
I think it's hotter if you have a girlfriend.
Oh yeah. Well, I got a couple of them.
But surprisingly enough, none of this is actually what got him banned. He got banned on both of his YouTube channels at the same time. Like, he got hit across the board, and these are permanent bans.
No, I think he's a Kick streamer. So he does have YouTube, but I don't know. You know Kick better than I do, Baze. Is Kick like kind of free willy about whatever? You can just do what you want?
I don't know Kick better than you do. A lot of my followers had me make a Kick, but I've only been on it a couple of times. I wanted to build the YouTube. I haven't really done the deep dive in how it all works and the differences.
I was surprised that he had only that, but apparently he has some other account that has like a lot of followers, but he has two that they.
Yeah, I hear that it's less censored than YouTube and Twitch, but I don't know the extent.
And if anybody's just rolling in, we're just serving up some appetizers. We're going to get to Baron and Erika and some other stuff here shortly. But I found this story and I just wanted to share it. So there's this, and then there's something even more interesting. Let me get past this because I think right here.
Really just legal pimping young girls on the...
Here we go.
So really sketchy and borderline illegal. That same stuff that Jack Doherty is doing, Jack Epstein, where he's pimping girls off on OnlyFans. And I don't know how long it's going to take Florida to figure this out. But if you know James Upmeyer, the Attorney General of the state of Florida, once he figures out that these dudes are doing this, he's going to close this loophole because it is literally just legal pimping young girls on the internet. And you guys should definitely go check out John's videos because that's what busted wide open this story as to who's funding him. And it leads directly back to Israel. But I'm going to give you guys some of those details.
All right, so that's where we're going to jump straight into John Bravo.
How did this afford a $5 million club? He's been, streaming for 4 months. Yeah, he makes money on Kick. Yeah, he makes money on Stake. But still, how did he get a $5 million club, right? Well, I'm going to show you how. Because his friend Energetic was live streaming in Clav's house. Clav walks in the door and he says, cut the camera, shut the camera off, because he didn't want people to see who he was meeting with.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Everybody say that I'm
It's a much better name for him because Braden, that sounds like the pussy that he is. Well, when I show you what he learned from Jack Epstein, that other piece of shit, you're going to start calling him Clav Epstein. Because
so I'm going to give some context. So if you don't know, Clavicular, 20-year-old like influencer, I guess you could say, socialite, and he opened up a club in Miami, I think over the last week or two or something like that. And everyone's wondering how he got the money, where the money came from. And so this actually exposed it. And what's interesting is he was basically literally saying Heil Hitler and Hitler's cool and all this stuff. And then this just came out of left field. So what you're going to see is a dramatic transformation from that.
He's becoming a bigger pimp and piece of shit than Jack himself. Remember when he first came on the scene, he was here to help young boys become better themselves, be better looking in order to pick up women, right? Well, in a deleted stream, he revealed his true intentions and how he's willing to lie, to cheat, do unethical things, even maybe get down on his knees in order to get what he wants. And it turns out he's been trying to hide from the public. He's been really doing behind the scenes in order to make all that money. He doesn't want anybody to know. But you guys know me. I'm going to find it out.
It's mine. That's high over there. Hey, tell her we'll be back in a half hour, 45. Yep.
So like I was saying, when Clav, we first saw him on the scene, he was preaching, that he was here to help young boys maximize their looks, lead a better life in order to pick up women. And he went on podcasts and he said crazy shit. He said he wanted to punch his face with a hammer like an asshole, make his limbs, his legs longer to become taller, pretending he was going to get all those surgeries, which he never did. He said all those things and he did all those things, not because he meant them, but he did it to get famous. And, credit to him because you know why? It worked. Fast forward today. You can't go online anywhere without seeing this asshole's face plastered everywhere. I mean, look, if you deeply think about it, and I don't know how deeply you need to think about it, what is he famous for? Ask yourself that question. Being a drugged up kid willing to fuck up his entire life for fame and money? Well, in a recent stream, he disclosed exactly what his intentions were, and he didn't want people to see it, which is why you can't find it anymore.
But I'm wondering what your goal is currently. At the end of the day, I wouldn't get on these streams and do this if it wasn't for money. The reason I do my Kick stream every single day, and I go to clubs and I drug myself to the point where I'm able to actually interact in public, that shit is for money. It's
bro, how sad is that? To have to feel that way, to drug yourself and do that stuff for money. I know.
Back in my day, I just did that shit for fun.
Me too. But damn,
shit, I should have been streaming.
That's what I'm saying, bro. All these years, man, I would have had so many followers if they would have seen
to do it for the money though. That is, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'd rather do it for money.
You also
than the
never
high,
know
but-
when you know. So especially somebody young like this, when they're on camera and they're getting asked these questions, even if they're given like what we perceive to be the wrong answers, we don't know if they feel like that's what they should be saying, if that sounds better. You know what I mean? Like sometimes people like say things, just because of their image on camera, and they don't realize that it's not really helping the image. Does that make sense?
Well, and being so young on the internet, that is not an advantage.
I don't know. How old is this kid?
They said he's 20. When I was 20 years old, I should not be on camera.
His frontal lobe isn't even developed yet.
That's
you'd
probably
say
the problem.
weirdest stuff then too. Like you say weird shit, you do weird stuff. I don't know. I'm glad the internet wasn't as big when I was 20.
Dude, give him 6 years. He'll clean up his act. He'll be like a born again Christian, and he'll be going in a whole different direction. Hopefully, he makes better decisions and stops hitting himself in the face with a hammer.
We'll see if you say that very shortly here. Let me just get to the point.
Spoiler alert.
Let's just move to, well, I mean, there's some good stuff in here. Let me see.
Started to come out and speak out. In a revealing live stream, content creator Livy Alex vocally criticized the contract proposal she received from Clavicular's management, shedding light on what she deemed predatory practices prevalent in the influencer economy.
You know what this reminds me of? It's almost like Andrew Tate's course has revealed itself, actually. Like their the Pimp and Hose degree. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I was actually thinking that this is like the next generation. This is like what happens when you get a kid growing up on that shit.
Yeah, this is exactly what happens. This is exactly what happens. Sadly.
Libby Alex, known for her candid approach to streaming, shared the shocking details of the contract offered to her for working with Clavicular's OnlyFans agency, which purportedly included an 80-20 profit share that heavily favored the management side.
Clav's not on, so I'm here. Somebody on Clav's team offered me a contract for his OnlyFans agency. I'd rather literally myself, but that's fine. And I heard that the split is 80-20.
Damn.
Yeah, f off. Why? So he's like, oh, the method is you have to get on my stream and you have to sub my and you're gonna make 300K plus on OnlyFans. Girl. What type of scam of hell is that?
We can turn cameras off for a sec.
Alright.
I know, my camera slipped. It slipped.
How do you even know everything about me? Are you a fan?
Well, I saw you text your manager's texting you, get on the stream more, do this, do that. So.
What are you talking about? Are you a stalker?
I'm not a stalker. I mean,
I'm
I
literally
work for
signing a
somebody
flag.
else.
Shut the up before I say everything that you want me to say. I literally signed a flag.
Like, what the hell is this
Are
bitch
you
saying?
retarded? And a half? Shut the I'm sorry, you guys are going to say shit that you don't want to say.
I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, this is all that drama. What I really want to show is who he's actually getting money from.
You see this mysterious guy walking in the door with his Sharmuta wife behind him and his security guard. Now, this is Hai Waknin, the guy who really owns the Baccarat Club, and he came to have a secret meeting with Clav, but he's got a bit of a shady past.
Bro, look at these guys right here, bro.
That was my first thought was mobster.
The Baccarat Club, and he came to have a secret meeting with Clav.
Bro, look at this dude right here. Oh, shit.
But he's got a bit of a shady past. He's a convicted felon and rumored to be tied to the Israeli mob. I didn't even know they had mobs in Israel. What is that shit?
And this is Sean from Israel too.
Nice to meet you as well. Clav, how are you guys?
Hello,
What do you think? Place is looking good, right? Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you, sir. Clav.
An enforcer for an Israeli crime group has been sentenced to more than 10 years in federal prison for racketeering. Hai Waknin, a 35-year-old Israeli national who lives in Marina del Rey, asked for leniency Monday, but citing his extensive criminal history, U.S. District Judge Manuel Reel gave Waknin 13 months in prison beyond the 9 years that the prosecutors were recommending. He had faced 46 counts of racketeering, extortion, conspiracy, and other charges stemming from an alleged scheme to hide money embezzled from an Israeli bank by loaning it out in Miami and Los Angeles.
All the rumors are true. And officially say I was a part of one of the biggest real estate deals in Miami recently. Multifaceted. You know, it includes hospitality, includes clubs, and
a little bit of drugs and prostitution and smuggling of things, money laundering. No big deal.
A restaurant. You know, so there's a lot.
In a restaurant. Sorry.
A lot of different entities involved, but I have a lot of different properties now in Miami Beach.
So Clav, saying he bought that club for $5 million. We know that load of bullshit. All these assholes say the same story. They get a Lamborghini. They show it off online saying it's theirs. Meantime, they fucking rented it. So we know all this same song and dance, right? And High has owned that club, Bacara, for years. It's been around for a long time. So saying that, maybe Clav, was promised a percentage of the company. Maybe Clav gave some money in, but he's not telling the full story. But I want you guys to think about something. For High, right? The club owner and his restaurants and his other businesses, he gets Clav in. What is he getting? He's getting promotion. He's getting Clav, bringing all his sharmutas over there, advertising it all on social media. It's actually a smart move by him. And then for Clav, he's not even 21 years old. He wants to go to a club. It's a pain in the ass for him to run around doing all this stupid shit in. Well, now he owns a club. He's going to make money on the club. And then also think about something else. He scouts all his sharmutas for the agency. Well, now he's got a perfect place to do it. But saying that, seeing the history, criminal history of who he's associated with, I'm curious to see what's going to happen with it. So I've spoken about this before. I've been up financially in life. I've been down a lot financially in life. But when I truly think about my life, right, the happiest times weren't when I had the most money. In fact, it's probably when I didn't have the most money because I had the best people.
So essentially, they're interfering with just not interfering, but I mean, how much do we have to tolerate is what I have to say. It's like they're everywhere now. You know what I mean? It's kind of bothersome. The stream wasn't intended to be about them, that, whatever, but it's sad to see, taking advantage of a young kid who doesn't know any better. And with mobsters. There was I guess I didn't show the part where he was actually doing this. Here, I'll show this last part real quick that I think is interesting, and then we'll move on to the next part of the show.
To say about that.
Listen, it literally works because I got
Also a video that leaked shortly after John's video came out of Clav over FaceTime in some ritual with a rabbi that lives in Israel where he's blessing Clav, and Clav had this to say about that.
Listen, it literally works because I got monetized on Snapchat literally like 2 hours later. So, hey, you know what I mean? Like you can cope, but dude, that's $7,000 a day. $7,000 a day on Snapchat. All right, you know what I mean? 2 hours, bro. Literally like 2 hours later. I got, so it's like, bro, come on.
And he's blatantly admitting to it right there. What this says to me is that the dude sold his soul. And here is his ex-girlfriend further confirming this.
It's crazy. He went from like saying Hail Hitler to the kissing the wall. I mean, I'm guessing they probably to be honest, they probably threatened him, guys.
So look at JD's face, bro. so yeah, I think it's very interesting, like how easily impressionable these kids can be. They have no actual moral guideline. They have no understanding of what they're getting themselves into. And man, only if they knew what we knew. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, because if you're looking at the mafia, that's not something you want to be involved in because they don't take kindly to if you screw them over even on accident. So imagine being in your 20s, part of some type of mafia that you don't realize is a mafia just because they have some money. And then one day you do something and something bad happens to you. I don't know how else to put that. I saw someone in the comments say like, I don't think he'll be in this world for as long as he could be. And that's kind of the hunch I get when people get into these. Like, if you think about Kanye, he just also kind of apologized to a rabbi, right? Nick Fuentes was thinking about taking the Mark Levin gold deal. These people, they hold out for so long, but how many times do these people keep knocking? Do they threaten them? We don't know the full story, but I do think it's really unfortunate how deep the Zionist people go or the mafia type folks.
Well, there's also you have to take into consideration the fact that that lifestyle has been glorified through our, media with music and movies for decades now. Like I'm 37, so growing up, it was all Scarface and Goodfellas, like all these like, gangster rap music, gangster movies, and having that like tough guy image and, made men and, like sex, drugs, rock and roll, like, you know what I mean? Like that's like when you're a young male in America, like that's your dream for a long time, and I had my own, period of time in my life where I was living it. And at the time it's all great. But the problem is it's like it, the higher the high, the lower the low that's going to come. Like the universe is always going to balance itself out, and you're never going to escape karma. You're never going to escape God, and at the end of the day, you have to have a balance in your life. And that's why I say, like hopefully he doesn't get himself in too deep. Like I said, I don't know this guy. I don't want to like speak too strongly on the subject or him. But like, hopefully it's just a phase and he's not really getting in too deep, and a lot of it is for show. And then, he'll make his money, he'll get out, and then you'll see him in a couple of years and he'll be all settled down with the wife and kids, talking about how a lot of it was exaggerated, because that's true with a lot of these people too. A lot of times you see these people that try to portray these lifestyles and act like they're all wild and everything. And it's, perfect example of that is John Belushi from Saturday Night Live back in the day. Everybody used to say that the guy was like an animal. And then like people that worked with him on Saturday Night Live, like Bill Murray, they're like, yo, the guy can only handle a couple beers. Like everyone thought that this guy was putting them away and doing a lot of blow. And they're like, no, like that's just what he did when the camera was on, So, you got to take that for what it's worth as well.
Yeah. It's kind of unfortunate. I mean, man, it's so weird. I couldn't imagine not being myself. You know what I mean? But definitely good takes from both of you. Jen, what's up, Jen, with the $5? Don't you think with AI taking jobs, this is where we're all headed? Like Clav, how else will people make money when the robots take our jobs?
Don't worry about making money. Worry about growing food. Grow your own food. Stay close to God, stay close to your family, do a lot of reading, educate yourself, and just go with the flow. The world is going to keep changing and transforming. We don't know how things are going to be in 5 years. So the best that you could do is take care of your health and just control the things that you can in your home. And then the rest will work itself out later.
Yeah, I have a different perspective. I think growing food is fantastic. I think you should be doing that. But I also think like look, oh man, if you knew, like, we're literally sitting here, we are able to predict the future. So imagine this. Imagine if you knew about Bitcoin in 2013. Would you buy it for 25 cents a coin? Of course. If you knew that the internet was going to be the biggest thing on the face of the earth, would you have made anything reasonable to be a website, even if it lasted a year? Of course. Right now, people are telling you that AI is going to take over the world and they're going to replace jobs. So we know what the future is. So what does that mean? Learn how to use AI to replace your own job or somebody else's. That's what I do. And that's what I try to encourage everybody else is learn how to be productive with AI. I've got multiple companies. They're startups, but I know how to do all kinds of stuff with AI. And I'm not going to be like on universal welfare. That's not at all what I plan. Like I'm not going to sit around and wait for my job to be taken. In fact, I'm going to do the opposite, and I'm going to be the one trying to take jobs. So that's kind of where I sit with it personally. Thanks for the super chat. Jen, again, wasn't Clav just hospitalized? Yes, he was. What happened with that? I don't know. I only saw the clip in JD. Apparently, he overdosed on meth.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's not a drug you want to do.
Yeah, I was just kind of thinking, like, how do you overdose on meth, I guess, unless it has, like, fentanyl or something in it?
Meth like completely deteriorates you from the inside out. Your skin, your teeth, your brain. It changes your brain chemistry. Like that is not what you want to be doing.
Yeah, I guess maybe it messes up your heart intermediate in the immediate. So perhaps maybe he had like rapid heart rate or something. But I know that all this stuff is cut with fentanyl these days. So
scary.
Clav is the new Ghislaine. They're using him. Interesting perspective. Thanks. Did you get a haircut? I cut my hair all the time. I cut my own hair. I don't think I've gotten a haircut in a long time. I put a little gel in it this morning. It's still like residual. Thank you for noticing. Appreciate it. All right, let's move to the entree. I know, everyone. Calm down. I know you're excited, but we do have Baron here. He's going to join us for a very interesting take. This shout out to Sword Truth. This is, I think he clipped this. So.
We have to stop elevating these people as heroes. We have to call them what they are, welfare queens. These are welfare queens. Every time these people get on a Gulfstream 5 and fly across the country and you're subsidizing it, you go to work, your business pays taxes, you pay income taxes on everything you make so that people who donate to them don't have to pay taxes. And if they turn a profit, they don't have to pay taxes. Every time that happens, we need to name them and shame them. We need to stop giving them standing ovations when they go and speak. They're getting rich off of our tax money. We have to start calling them what they are. Welfare queens. Erika Kirk is a welfare queen. A welfare queen. So's Tyler Boyer. So's Andrew Colvette. So's Mikey McCoy. Welfare queens. Some of them, queen is probably a very apt description.
Yo, Baron's going in.
He is.
Go get a real job. Stop sucking off the system.
Yeah. Yeah, they are Coach. There's another clip here. Here, let me go to this. And shout out to Coach, by the way. All right, let's see.
This has to be it. Before I even get into the SUV stuff, this has to be it. Let's see.
Andrew, if you're listening, and I wasted a lot of hours praying for you. A lot. I wasted a lot of my audience's hours asking them to pray for you. I thought deep down you were a decent person. If that reporting is true, if what the TPUSA Georgia chapter president is saying is true, and you lied on stage, and Erika was actually there and it wasn't a travel issue, you not only put your soul in jeopardy by lying flat out to the public, but then you enlisted countless Twitter people to harass, intimidate, lie on your behalf. Go to hell. And I don't mean that figure.
Whoa.
I don't mean go to hell. I mean go to hell in a very temporal sense.
Oof. If you don't know about what he's saying with the Georgia thing, I'm going to pull up and I'll read you what this is because I think it's quite interesting. Here it is.
But how is this any different than what's been going on with Andrew Colvette and with the lying? He's like, well, if you're lying about this and you would, yeah, like they've been doing this the entire time. They've been lying the entire time. They've constantly, whether directly or indirectly, been instigating to some degree people to like go after Candace Owens and other people that are questioning the narrative and looking into the investigation, like trying to discredit them. So like what makes this instant any different or any special than what we've already been seeing? And what has Andrew Colvette done or said over the last 8 months that would have made Baron or anybody else think that he's a good person?
Well, I think that this is particularly different because if Erika Kirk lied by saying she couldn't go to an event because of death threats or physical threats, and JD Vance is there, the vice president, there's multiple issues with that.
But Danks, think about what you just said. You just started the sentence with, if Erika Kirk lied. Yo, over the last 8 months, all that bitch has done is lied. And
I can't say that.
And JD Vance, what do you mean? It's like completely on the record.
Because
like
I don't know
everything,
the truth.
everything is on everything is on the record. And then it's like,
all
oh,
that
JD,
other stuff,
and then JD Vance
that.
is involved. Who gives a fuck? He's another schmuck. Yo, like, let's not forget, JD Vance flew Charlie's body allegedly on Air Force 2 8 months ago. So, like, none of this is new. None of this behavior, like, there's no breaks in the pattern. It's consistent with what we've seen the entire time.
It sounds like Barron just hit his breaking point. He had 8 months of grace for this guy, and then he's like, screw it. We're done. I'm calling in the chips. I'm done giving you the prayers. And that's how I take it, because honestly, you want to give people good grace, because Andrew Colvett was the one who allegedly tipped off Candace in the beginning for her to be like, all right, something's wrong here. And then so I'm sure in the back of his head, he's like, you know what, Andrew Colvett, he must have had a heart to tell Candace what he told her, but he never did. He never turned it around. So that's how I look at it, is that Barron came to the end of his rope.
This whole thing just blows my mind. Like I said, for me, I'm gonna, as long as people are talking about this case, I'm gonna keep bringing it back to December. Bring it back to December when Erika Kirk was getting interviewed by Glenn Beck, and she was sitting there on camera saying that Charlie was not texting anybody, that he was afraid for his life and that he was scared, and that they were always getting threats, but it was generalized. And she said, I would know, I have his phone. And then less than a week later, Candace Owens comes out after having that 4.5-hour meeting. It's like, oh, well, Erika actually said, that he did send those messages, that she just didn't see him before, that they were on a signal. And it's like, how the hell does that make any sense at all? If intelligence, like whether it's CIA, FBI, like Kash Patel was denying Joe Kent and Tulsi Gabbard from doing an investigation to see if there was foreign influence in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Like, nobody looked at this guy's phone. And then they found out later that the whole thing was about signal was bullshit, that it was in his text messages, that he texted both Dan Flood and who else? Take a wild guess. Andrew Colvett, that he was afraid for his life, that they were going to kill him. So, like, where is this grace period with Andrew Colvett coming from when, like, literally a day or two before Charlie Kirk was allegedly killed, he was texting Andrew Colvett, and Andrew Colvett was not coming out publicly with the details? The guy's always been a lying piece of shit. So it's like why? Because Erika was lied about threats on her life that we all saw coming. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just blows my mind. It just blows my mind.
So what are you trying to say?
What do you mean? I just said.
I'm curious, like what? But so
I'm
are you
trying to say that there is no breaks in the pattern. That everything that we're seeing now, it's nothing new. It's just reinforcing what we already know and have known for a long time.
It's like a tally instead of like a new.
It's put it this way. Imagine you have a friend. Okay, imagine you have a friend, and he's like always like talking some shit, and like he's at your house and he'll like go through your stuff and he'll like steal something. It's like this like terrible friend that you just keep having the patience with. And like all of a sudden he does some like B-level shit, like something that's like very mild and tame in a disrespectful way compared to everything else that he's been doing like your whole relationship. And you're like, that's it. I've had enough. Like after every, like this is the straw that breaks the camel's back. It's just, I know I didn't really give a good analogy there, but
no, it was good enough.
Unfortunately,
yeah, I mean, I get it.
I was gonna say I'm like that though. Like I can almost relate. I'll be like, oh, it's no big deal. Oh, it's no big deal. And then randomly I'll be like, this is it. This is the last straw with me. So I think that's why I related to Barron in that, because like there's so much grace you can give people, and then you're like, okay, you're gonna lie with the vice president on the stage. Erika Kirk's in the freaking States. Like, this is ridiculous. So I guess I can like empathize with him on that. But also I agree that the pattern has been lie. Like,
and he's not even a good liar. No, like he's not even a good liar. Like you can tell he's full of shit.
Yeah,
you can tell he's full of shit. Him and Blake Neff get on camera every day, like just trying to like push the narrative, and it's like you literally have to be retarded to believe it.
Well,
like,
and
I don't understand.
He gets a shit-eating face. Like, you can tell he's about to lie because he does this thing with his mouth, and you're like, all right, Andrew, not another lie. Come on, dude. Like,
and they get so stressed when people bring the receipts too. Like, you could see it on their face. They're like sweating. You know, like they get so stressed out, they can't deal with it, and then they just try to gaslight everybody. You know,
For sure. Yeah.
it's
I
like
mean,
at least someone like Ben Shapiro can like sell it. You know, Ben Shapiro, like he's an even bigger piece of shit and more full of shit, but at least he can talk. At least he can look at the camera with a straight face and just try to sell you the shit. These guys are like bumbling retards. And it's like where, like, give me a reason why you have any faith, why you have any grace.
I mean, grace is always good to try to give. I think Barron has been fair enough to try to say, like, because you know what he's been doing?
More than fair.
He's been trying to say, like, hey, like, come out with a better reason about the flight pattern that I can't like pin you in this area. He's been trying to give Andrew. It feels like he's speaking to Andrew Colvett through his live streams, like trying to get something to change or to get some type of different information, or maybe he'll see a change. I think he might just try to appease or appeal to like the good person in maybe in Andrew, and he thinks that he could try to maybe pull it out. Perhaps, I don't know if he's just frustrated that it just keeps getting worse and worse. I mean, Andrew Colvett is kind of just like the Pamela Bondi for President Trump, or like the Kash Patel for Trump, right? Where he's doing whatever is unless he's the one creating the bullshit, you know what I mean? The thought stuff, the statements.
And I keep thinking about when they said like that he had the like neck of steel and stuff. That just reminded me of like his bones were of steel or whatever. That reminded me of something that Erika Kirk would say. So I do think he is just the talking head. Like she made up she just makes up eccentric lies and then wants you to believe they're a miracle because she wants to pander to you with Christian language. That really bothers me. And so I don't see Andrew Colvett doing that to the extent that she does. I think he just does whatever Erika says. And also he did just see. Yeah, exactly. Well, and if Charlie did get killed, and so whoever's controlling that part of the house, he's probably going to be quiet because he just saw someone get murdered, and it's like, well, this is who pays my checks and I don't know what else to do. Not saying it's right, but I just think when you're stuck in a situation where someone was just murdered and then also they sign your paychecks, if they're related at all and he thinks they may be, he may just shut up and do what he's told. That's human nature, I think.
TPUSA's big mistake was trying to pervert Christianity and use religion to push their political messaging. Because if they would have just kept it political, then they would just be full of shit shills like everybody else. But the second they start trying to gaslight people and using religion and lie about this shit, and then start infiltrating churches and getting pastors involved and like just totally exposing themselves, they just destroyed any credibility that they ever could have had, and they just look guilty as hell.
So I'm going to read this. So this is a letter from the president of Turning Point USA of University of Georgia. Before I do that, let me get through a couple of these. Anne Marie with a $10 banger. $10 banger. I don't know why I said it that way. Banger. I work for a large corp, and the owner said to us in a meeting, AI is not going to take your job, but someone who knows AI will. Danks lit a fire on me to learn AI. Thanks for your help, Danks. Thanks for your patronage. Thank you for saying that, because it is important. I believe that I will be replacing multiple jobs I already have, and you can too. I guess that's where we're headed. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's like, I'm definitely not gonna look. I'm in a particularly unique type of position where now I don't have to be super concerned about that. But like, I used to wait tables, or I used to manage restaurants, or I used to do like accounting for food and beverage, or like all kinds of stuff. And those are all going to be taken. You know what I mean? Like, like 2 years ago, there was like a waiter, like not a waiter, but a busser AI thing that was like rolling around the restaurant, like taking dirty plates and shit. This was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So soon, I don't know what it's going to look like, but definitely AI is going to be a big part of it. Thanks for the super chat. Jen, if I were Erika, I'd be on Candace's podcast every day if she had me, trying to figure out what happened to my husband. Man, aren't you speaking some truth? I would be too. It's just crazy. It feels like they want to shut down the investigation. I mean, overwhelming evidence is hard to beat. You know what I mean? So when you have that, and obviously they do, it's just, you know, what else can you look for? Obviously, you got Tyler Robinson, you got 30-6. I mean, we're good, right? I mean, what's there to look for? But I get you. I mean, I understand. You want to always keep looking.
You know what I would really love for you to look for right now?
What?
That clip that you were telling me about from Candace Owens the other day, where they were getting a statement from the grandpa.
You want? Okay, let me read this. Here, read this super chat.
Okay, sure.
Let me find that.
Shapiro's eyebrows get bigger every time he lies. Yo, Jen got the bangers tonight.
That's amazing.
I think I bookmarked it. And then we've got one for Measured Man. What's he
His
saying?
eyebrows get bigger and his horse gets smaller.
Is that what he said?
No. Measured Man said, shout out to Danks joining us from Rome or Italy. Can't remember. They have been deleting tweets. But anyway, thanks, whatever time zone you are in. Yo, Measured Man.
Appreciate you.
He's
yeah,
always
he is
showing
a
up.
real one. Grandpa Tyler Robinson latest. Here it is.
Which is weird because
Okay. I've got it. It's queued up, I think. Yeah, all right, it's right here. All right, let me read this letter first. Thanks for the super chat. Welcome to the community, Shelly. 99 cents to be a Dankster every Friday. We had a great members only live stream today. We were partying. We were coding with AI and we were making music. And I made that song today. All right. So let's keep it moving here. So where is the thing that I have? Here it is. Is it here? Oh, yeah, here it is. Okay. So this is the letter from Caroline Maddox, the Caroline Maddox. My name is Caroline Maddox, and I am the president of Turning Point USA at the University of Georgia. Being a part of TPUSA has been a dream of mine for a very long time, and I was prepared to devote my college years to building the UGA chapter and carrying on Charlie Kirk's legacy. Turning Point USA was founded to promote truth, fight for conservative values, encourage independent thought, and defend free speech. However, it became abundantly clear to me following our event on April 14th that TPUSA's mission and purpose have been lost along the way. It became evident to me that the organization's current direction no longer aligns with the principles upon which it was founded. I witnessed firsthand what I believed to be the organization's true direction following Charlie's passing, and I have significant concerns about its messaging and current trajectory. In light of this, I am resigning from my position as president of the Turning Point USA chapter at the University of Georgia. While I'm grateful for the experiences, lessons, and people this chapter has brought me, I can no longer, in good conscience, continue to represent an organization that I believe has strayed so far from its original purpose and principles. Charlie spent his life fighting for truth, and I do not believe he would stand for the blatant dishonesty now being spread by the organization that he built. His mission was never about numbers, appearances, or relevance. He showed people the beauty of just having a conversation and inspired an entire generation to make change. His mission was never about performing, but about encouraging my generation and future generations to stand up for what is right and fight to save America. I remain committed to standing for truth and fighting for the future of our country, and I will continue to stand firmly in that mission. I know I'm not alone. I look forward to standing alongside others who value integrity, think for themselves, and have the courage to do what is right, even when it's not easy or popular. As Charlie often said, stand for what is right, even if you stand alone. That message guides me, and I will continue to carry it with me in all that I do. Pretty powerful stuff, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like also if Erika Kirk didn't go and you're a woman, and I hate to do this, but it also comes off as like a diva thing, which is not how Charlie Kirk came across. So I think this is one of those things where it's like, I don't want to be participating in something where someone can't show up when the vice president of the United States is there. Like that just comes off like you're Beyonce 2 hours late to a show.
Oh yeah, forget about it. Forget about it. It's like, think about it. If JD Vance is there, then that should make it like the second safest place in America at that point in time.
Right.
The safest being next to Trump, you know?
That's why it was such a lie. And then on top of that, just a diva move.
And it's a bad live. Bad live. Bad lie.
This is a good lie. That was a bad lie.
It's a bad lie.
I do want to take a second to say thank you for everyone for joining. We have over 1,400 people watching across all platforms. Please do hit the like and subscribe button on all of our accounts. By the way, I was doing some research this week and I found out that the strongest I hate to say it like this, it's going to sound grifty, but I promise it's not. Even a small super chat, $1, you don't have to do it. I'm not asking that. But just so you know, moving forward for any creator, I've been watching as we grow our followers and as we've been, or not our followers, but our viewers, as we're getting super chats. And we literally started at 200. We got super chats. It went up to 300, got more super chats. So just so you know, even $1, even if I wish they had a penny, I would do that. But this is some of the biggest growth that you can do. And this type of messaging is important if you want to see how our messaging gets out. You can just like it, subscribe, push it out with the notification on your phone. And if you want, your question can come on stage with a super chat and it does help. So now what I did put on my post is I said this. Now, only if everyone who saw TPUSA for what they truly are doing to Charlie's legacy, the entire system would break. Suing people, telling them to shut up or stop talking and asking questions, not following their stated mission, and dozens of other reasons are a major factor to this letter. It just took someone with more balls than just some internet sleuths to call it out. Sue people for how they see the truth isn't an American principle. It's a way to hide lies. Is that what Charlie Kirk would do? Hide behind lies with lawyers and fireworks? Or do you think he would condone this letter and applaud this letter? Oh, damn. I didn't realize it had 10,000 views already. Interesting. Yeah. So I really believe that this is one of those things that, you know, I really felt like this letter that she wrote is important because this helps a lot of people in the creator space, because as creators, this right here is someone from the inside. It's not us from the outside saying these things. It's someone from the inside who experienced it firsthand. And this shields a lot of people that already said it and believed it from what they were looking at. And then when you how do you think someone like Tyler Boyer or Andrew Colvett or their team sees suing people after something like this comes out? Do you think that they see it differently now? Or do you think they just add her to the list?
I mean, it's tough. I thought that it was crazy, the idea that they were going to sue anybody over this, because then things have to go into discovery. You know, like that's why a lot of people think that like Baron and Candace would love to get sued by TPUSA.
I agree. Well, yeah. Look, I don't know. I want to say so much right now.
I mean, like her position also like makes it a little more credible, because we've heard other whistleblowers come out, but she is like ahead of a chapter, right? Like this is different. Whereas like we've seen videos of people claiming that there's Mossad inside of TPUSA, things like that. Whereas this is somebody who was more towards the top and is like, they're not following Charlie's message. And that's what I'm here to do, is follow Charlie's message. So if I have to stand for what I believe in, I'm going to stand alone like Charlie would. So I feel like that's what makes it super powerful, is it lends her credibility, but also she is referencing the founder and saying like, you're not following his values, I'm stepping out. So that's what I took from that as why it was so powerful.
Yeah, no, that was a really, really huge blow. When you start having these types of institutions backing out and saying that they don't want to be a part of Turning Point USA because of what you just said, that they're not following Charlie's message, like that could avalanche.
Well, on top
that
of it,
really
you
can
had
be a huge snowball effect. You start getting other institutions doing the same thing, like people, because I feel like we live in a time now where like a lot of people see what's going on, they see things that are all messed up, but they don't really want to speak up. Like once you get a couple of people, a couple of the right people to start speaking up, and then more and more people get comfortable speaking up, like that's when you start really seeing change.
Well, you already have like the St. John's situation where the Catholic school, they're like, we don't want your shit in our school, bro. Like, and then they're trying to, bro, aren't they still under this situation where schools are going to get sued by the state if they don't actually take a TPUSA chapter? How crazy is that? Imagine like Florida, Texas, Arizona, I think these states are literally suing schools if they don't take a Turning Point chapter.
Yeah, I mean, look at what else is going on in Florida, though. In Florida, if you're criticizing Benihana's or our not so greatest ally, they'll send police to your door to ask you about it,
or they'll just arrest you.
Did you guys notice too? Those are the states that like that got a high number of like, I don't know how to say this, like migration. Because remember, Arizona, Texas, and Florida got a ton of migration
it's because of the no taxes, the state taxes.
So who migrated there and are causing these issues for those states and for those citizens of those states who lived there previously? I don't think that's an accident. I think that's an infiltration.
Yeah, after COVID, a lot of people left New York and went to Florida. And I'm very, very happy that I stayed in New York. Like New York is not perfect. There's a lot of problems. Like it's like obviously everyone knows the city is diverse. I'm out on the islands where it's like a little more conservative. So there is a bigger balance in New York than most people, I think, in other parts of the country are aware of. But like one thing that New York has always like stuck to its guns with is freedom of speech, and that I am always going to be the biggest advocate for. I will always be against censorship, and like that's part of what my platform is all about. And
what's great about New York is you guys are about to have like free buses and free grocery stores and like all kinds of other free shit too, right?
Oh my god, yo, don't even get me started. Like I said, it's not perfect. It has its problems. But
everything's gonna be fucking free in New York. Oh shit! What's up, Shelly? $10. We all know that what Erika had done that summer. Oh damn, we know what you did last summer. Andrew, Tyler, Mikey, Terry, Harpole, Flood, Phil, Victor, Marks, and more. Trump and Cash covering it up. Shots fired. Thanks for the super chat. Katie Agogo, recovering Jessica. Are you actually recovering someone named Jessica right now? Or are you Jessica that's recovering? Because that's an important distinction to make. Ginger Teller, nice name. Ginger Teller is recovering Jessica right now. All right. Thank you for fighting for truth. You're welcome. Jed, thanks for all your hard work. That's for one of you too. Thank you, Jed.
Thank you, Jed.
So, the recording. So apparently, if you know my friend, business associate Elizabeth Lane, she has been at the courthouse hearing for Tyler Robinson. And apparently someone serendipitously, is that how you say it? Serendipitously, she was talking to the grandfather. And then Candace Owens comes out with this clip of someone like secretly recording her talking to the grandfather. And the grandfather, if you haven't heard of Tyler Robinson, had said some really eye-opening stuff about the case. So I'm going to play that next for Baze and for those that haven't seen it yet. I felt bad. I was like, dang, girl, did you know someone was sitting there recording you? And she's like, no, man, this is ridiculous. But at least Candace called her. So let's see what this is.
Some have a stash of savings. Oh, they did? Like credit food or?
This was nice.
Yeah. What are you guys for Tyler? What are you for Tyler or the other side?
It's so fun. She knows who everybody is. Like, she is the smartest female, I think, on this planet, actually, which is kind of like, Not on this. Like she's very smart. She knows a lot of shit. I'm like, holy shit. So for her to ask, like, who are you guys? Like, she's playing coy. You know what I'm saying? Baze made this face like, what? Smartest woman on the planet? Not like, seriously, bro. Come on, man. I'm working with the young lady. I got to give her some, like, I got to massage the situation. All right.
I'm really sorry you're going through this.
Keep going.
Yeah, it's tough for you guys.
Yeah, it sucks. We're here to support.
Yeah, we think your grandchild is absolutely framed, but
So she said, we think your grandchild has been absolutely framed.
I'm an investigative journalist, so
Well, I do too.
And he said, well, I do too. That's the grandfather.
Man, you're done. Like I can tell you that you're very right. That's why, yeah.
And my dad was a cop for years.
Yeah.
So he said, I know what a 30-06 would do. I'm a hunter, and my dad was a cop here for what, Inaudible.
He showed me all of this.
He showed me all the ballistics.
Yeah, of course, but
well, hold up.
So what do you think that means? I'll give my input after I hear what you guys have to say. What do you think this grandfather coming out and saying my grandson was framed, I think, and 30-06 didn't do this, essentially? What does this mean for the case and for everybody?
Well, I think if he's called on the witness stand, then that would be very good to have for the defense, because it's his gun, his old gun. He's saying this wouldn't do that to what we have in this evidence. So that would be pretty powerful. On top of that, he's with the internet. Like most of the internet is on Grandpa's side about this, because we also don't believe that a 30-06 would do that to Charlie. At least I don't believe that. And I'm not even a gun person. I've just seen many, many videos of what that would do. So that's where I stand with that. What about you, Baze?
I think that it narrows this whole thing down to, two of the theories that I had. And one, well, not just that I had, because they've been floating around. It's pretty public, so I'm not trying to take credit by any means. But like two of the theories that I've been kind of like narrowing down to. One is that they were planning on setting up Tyler Robinson the entire time, and that he was not supposed to make it out of that day alive. And he caught on, whatever his level of involvement was. At some point, he realized, like, oh my God, these people are going to kill me. And he went to the precinct and turned himself in. And now they've just been trying to scramble and spin it. And then, the other is that the whole thing is a psyop, whether or not Charlie is dead or alive, and that it's just made to be this messy on purpose to distract us from everything else that's going on in the world. I think either one of those is plausible at this point, but I think that at this point we can like completely rule out the narrative, the idea that Tyler Robinson was a lone shooter that shot Charlie Kirk in the neck with a 30-06. Like anybody who's still even entertaining that.
I don't know. Let's run a poll. We have like 600 people here, so let's run a poll. Do you think Charlie was shot by Tyler Robinson? How about just by Tyler Robinson? Let's do that.
No, but
like
we know what that's going to be. Why don't you do the poll saying, do you think that Charlie Kirk was shot by Lance Twiggs? Because think about it. The 911 tapes, the description on the 911 tapes is much more consistent with Lance Twiggs than Tyler Robinson. They had all these Discord messages of them going back and forth, yet they never felt the need to bring in Lance Twiggs and arrest him too and think that he was a part of it and an accessory. They just gave him the benefit of the doubt, despite the 911 tapes that seem to have described him. Like, think about it. And if they were setting up Tyler Robinson, he would have had to have had a handler. He would have had to have somebody involved that was stringing him along. Wouldn't it make sense for that to have been Lance Twiggs? Like, isn't that something that should at least be investigated or entertained? What do you think?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that, okay, first let me give my input on what the grandfather's words have to do with this. Personally, I think it changes nothing for me because we already, let me zoom out a little bit. We already knew or felt the same, like what he said already was the case for me. Like him saying this, all it does is it helps me understand that it's very unlikely that the parents willingly, along with Tyler Robinson, turned himself in. Like that's the narrative that I got from it that changed. Because, excuse me, apparently he turned himself in and the family had something to do with it. Now, maybe they did tell him to turn himself in and they played a hand in it, but why would they do that if he was being framed? Why would you do that? Unless you were afraid they were going to come and blaze up the house.
I think they probably were. They were probably worried about his safety, which what I understood from it was that like he was wanted dead or alive type situation. So that's how I took it.
You have to remember, they didn't just say that his parents encouraged him to turn himself in. They said that they added the guilty tag. They said that his parents recognized him on TV with that ridiculous little grainy image. They said that they recognized the gun, despite the fact that the gun was a Google stock photo. And to this day, none of us, not even the defense attorneys, has actually seen a picture of this real gun. None of them.
Point. Yeah.
But they didn't just say that the parents encouraged them to turn himself in. They said that the parents recognized him on TV, they recognized the weapon, they knew he was guilty, and that they wanted him to turn himself in. That is a very, very big difference in what they said and what may have happened. You know, because he might have talked to his parents and said, hey, I think they're going to kill me. And they might have said, well, then you got to turn yourself in. You know, keep yourself safe, protect yourself. Like, that's a lot more plausible than, you know, what Turning Point USA and the FBI and who is it? The chief? What was his name again? The one that resigned recently?
Brooksby.
Yeah, once you start seeing these people start resigning, it's like the guilt is there, you know? Like, they're not resigning because they're doing a good job.
Yeah, and I'm kind of picturing it like this. They said they talked to like a former buddy cop or whatever. It sounds like they probably like was consulting him. Like, I think they're on a manhunt for my son. What do we do? And he's like, probably turn him in so like nothing happens. Like that's how I took that after some of this stuff has came out, where it's like he probably like didn't actually turn himself in. He was probably coerced in by at some point. Like that's horrible. And also, have you thought about like Utah also has this speedy trial law for the victim that doesn't really occur in many states. And that's also a great setup for them to be like, speedy trial, get this over with, send him to the gallows. Like that's a great setup, because I keep wondering why Utah? Well, they have that speedy trial law for the victim, which Erika Kirk has invoked, which is very abnormal because normally the defendant would want the speedy trial, not the victim. So it's very weird timing that this is where it's at. And then that Brooksby also resigned. So this doesn't look good for the overall case, for it not to look like some sort of operation.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't really think about that too deeply. Yeah, that is strange. You know, usually because of the fact, I think the reason why they don't invoke this very often is because they should have usually such a strong case that they won't be pressing on the victim's side, and they'll let the perpetrator or alleged perpetrator get all the materials together in order to plead their case. So it is interesting. This whole situation from start to finish has been quite the debacle or debauchery. It to me feels like a setup. It to me feels like I want to say Charlie's alive, based off of all the things that I've seen. And like for anybody to understand why I think that way, you'd have to understand why I think that way. And there's too many reasons for me to say in one video. Like I'd have to show you things. Jesse on Fire made a really great series, but like I came to this conclusion with Jesse on the phone, and like he kind of painted it for me, but I've seen things that just don't add up. And the number one thing for me is that nobody has acted naturally sad. And that's the thing that gets me the most, is that you can't have people, I don't want to get into this, but the thing is, it just shows more of this inauthenticity. And I just don't understand how they could lie so much and grift so much. And they've been doing this shit since before Charlie was dead anyways. And now it's just kind of caught up. I'm rambling at this point, but yeah, it's kind of bothersome. It's really bothersome. This whole case is really bothersome. It feels like just one big psyop.
It does, and it's like to confuse the masses. Here we are talking about it, and no one knows if he's dead or alive. The whole thing looks fake and staged to some degree, whether it's the shot that didn't happen or whatever it is, right? Because even people that think he's dead think whatever they're telling us about the gun and everything is fake. So, like, how did it happen, right? If he is dead, how did it happen? Has anyone really been able to prove that? Some people may be close, but I'm just saying, like you're saying, it looks like an operation. That's clear to me.
Well, I've told you guys, and a lot of these viewers are new to my work, so they, majority probably don't know, but I've been studying this case since day one using AI and probability models. And what I've gotten it down to is basically a coin toss. That it's basically a coin toss whether or not he's even dead or alive. But what makes that interesting is that once you break it down into different hypotheses like A, B, C, D, E, it's you go by not just whether he's dead or alive, but if he's dead, how did he die? So you have to say, like, what is the probability that he was killed with a 30-06, which at this point is near zero? You say, what is the probability that he was shot in the neck? What is the probability that it is the lapel mic? What is the probability that he was electrocuted? What is the probability that it was something in the cross? What is the probability that he was hit from the back from something behind him, like the camera? And once you start running all these different probabilities, the scenario with the highest probability is that he's alive. Even though there's a slight higher probability that he's dead, there's no cause of death that has a higher probability than the scenario where it's staged. Like, if you stack up and you combine the probabilities of 2 or 3 different causes of death, then the probability that he's dead outweighs it. But any individual cause of death does not outweigh the probability that the entire thing is staged. I don't know if everybody caught up with me. Chat, put a 1 in the chat if you kept up and you understand what I'm saying.
So Matt says he's not alive. Come on. And I guess my argument to that is prove to me that he's dead. I got that one from good old Bays. Prove to me he's dead.
Yeah.
Like a jugular shot to the neck doesn't come out like that. Like, it just doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, if you've shot anything, you know that. It's very obvious that's not a neck shot that's just not a neck shot. So if it's not a neck shot and it's not a 30-06 and it's, I mean, if it was an electrocution, that wouldn't bust out his side of his neck. So what is it? What is it?
Yeah, how did he die?
I feel like it's a plan gone wrong, but I don't know how to come to. That's how I think of it. Like, when I think that he's most likely dead, something still happened that was not supposed to happen. I think that was clear, because you see something's supposed to happen at the chest, then something comes out of his neck. That's where I kept thinking, like, this whole thing is like wrong. Was he shot in the chest or was he nipped in the neck? Like, what was going on there?
Also, people got to remember.
I agree, it's crazy, and I'm not saying it's not crazy. It's freaking ridiculous.
No, but also people got to remember. Remember when they kept saying that he was dead instantly, that nobody would have survived?
This is the stupidest argument, that they killed him in the car. Like, this is so just like, oh my gosh, bro. They killed, all that stuff happened, and like they killed him in the car. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, he was alive in the car. That's the point that I was going to get to. But just because he died in the car doesn't mean that he was killed in the car. If they could have been legitimately trying to say that, that's a whole other story. But what I do find odd is that the people on the scene that day and everybody else said that he was never going to survive. That basically he got shot. He was. You see a lot of people that say it. They're like, "Oh no, he was definitely dead. The lights went out." Like Brian Harpole said, he had doll's eyes that were not consistent with life. But you see, like, you could, like, if you analyze the footage and the film, when they're carrying him away, he lifts up his arm and he bends his wrist up and moves his fingers. And then once they carry him into the car, you could see him lift his head up. Now, was Rick Cutler on the other side of the car pulling him up? I don't, like, that's an argument. That's actually a point that I brought up when I was on the stream with Alley Top Files, going over the footage the other day. But he was definitely alive when he was in the car.
And
there was movement.
Yeah, Candace got a text that he was for a little while. She said they were standing by to find out if he lived or not.
That was at the hospital.
Yeah, and that was
Not
at the
in the car.
hospital. So, well, if he's standing by, I mean, that he's alive, he most likely was, unless they resuscitated him. But they've been
Like,
so
what
choppy with that
reason would they have to just choke the dude out in the car, bro? Like what reason would they have to kill him at all? You see what I'm saying? Like, none of it actually makes sense. And then when you look at the whole situation, all of these people with no emotion, no crying, no real tears, nobody's upset, actually, no authenticity. You got Erika Kirk with 3 different personalities trying to figure out which one lands hardest, to the point to where she's going to have to step down completely. But I don't think that's going to happen. Now, apparently, she's with Trump. So it's like, to me, the only thing that I could see is that he needed to be removed from the organization. And I mean, look, I'm not saying for sure that he's alive. All I'm saying is that it doesn't make sense that they killed him. That's all I'm saying. And it does, like, and also the way that they say was like, all of the stuff they're saying that he's dead and how he died also doesn't make sense. So if nothing makes sense about the killing, like, if they killed him, they would have at least a rational explanation on how he died, but they don't. You see what I'm saying? So when nothing adds up, when not the assassination, when not the people after and the people that allegedly did it, in your guys' opinion, like, you have to at least show me something that says he died this way, okay? Because we don't even have that. And people are trying to say that he's dead and that everybody around him killed him and they choked his ass in the car, but he was alive when he got to the hospital. But there was a 30. It's like, nobody knows. And then everyone's like, oh, there was a struggle in the car. How the fuck do you know?
It was Frank Turek, by the way. Frank Turek, who was on the scene and in the car with Charlie, was the one, and went to the hospital, was the one who said that Charlie was killed instantly. One of the many inconsistencies from everybody that was involved that day.
And then, well, you know who else said it is Terrell Farnsworth. Charlie, he's dead.
They killed him. They
killed him.
Who's they?
Like, what do you mean, bro?
Now, did he make that video before or after he ripped the SIM cards out?
Before. It was the first thing he did.
Yeah, right away. He ran to the side. He made the video. And let's not forget Hunter Kozak, who was caught doing the Home Alone thing, like his reaction after Charlie was allegedly shot. He was caught on camera doing the same exact reaction beforehand, like he was practicing. So, like,
how about Phil Lyman? Bro,
but there's so many inconsistencies. There's so many instances where it's like, if
these are consistencies, actually.
Yeah, they're consistently inconsistent. But if you take one of them, if you take one anomaly, then it's like, okay, things happen. But when every single person involved is getting caught either lying or giving some form of misinformation that's not consistent with what happened when they were there, and every single person's story is constantly changing and none of them are acting normal, like, the only one who actually, like, hit the floor and looked like they were afraid of an active shooter was Frank Turek. Like, everybody else, like, right after Charlie went down, they all looked like they were, like, doing exactly like they were, like, it was planned. It looked coordinated. It looked rehearsed. It really did.
So far, we have, okay, so remember, everyone is on board that he's dead for the most part in the chat. But I run a poll, and it's, do you think Charlie was shot by a 30-06? And they said 99% says no, with 163 votes. And they have a bullet wound in the neck. Okay. Obviously, a 30-06. There's so many reasons why a gunshot doesn't make sense. And if they have a bullet hole attempt showing us from the side of the neck, to me, that only screams fake. Because even if something nicked your neck, like a shape charge exploded and a piece of plastic hit his neck, then it would slice open and blood would go. Have you ever seen? That's what it looks like. It shoots out with the blood that pulses with the heart. Okay. It doesn't just pour out like a bucket of cherry juice when you pour it out of a bottle.
And he stopped bleeding 20 seconds later, even when they were applying pressure carrying him.
That doesn't happen. So,
yo, Danks, check this out. I did a poll too. I said, do you think Lance Twiggs was the real shooter? 41 votes. We have 51% no, 49% yes, and a bunch of comments saying that he's not dead. So a lot of the people that were saying no, a lot of people that were saying no were saying no, he's not the shooter because he's not dead.
Thank you for Denise. Thanks for all you do. I appreciate you. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you for that. Measure Man says, Dankster intel for Jessica. LOL. The recovering Jessica, I think. I'm out now. I'm too old for this. LOL. Keats. Here with some intel. Lance is live and hilariously pathetic. Is he live like right now? On a live stream? Bro, why you gotta confuse me, bro? Is it like the Aussie shit? The Aussie shit? Laurie, thank you for the super chat. Measured and Keats. And then Laura Marie. Watching the fall of TPUSA is better than a Netflix series. Bro, the saga continues. It's so funny you say that. The Academy Awards go to Baron, Candace, Lionel, Coach, Jimmy, Bays, and Danks. Oh, if you knew how funny that was to us. Oh, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, didn't you just say I'm too old for this? I'm out. 8:40. 8 minutes later. Okay. In my opinion, as a parent, if I thought that was my son, I would say, okay, let's go talk, not turn yourself in thinking you would be cleared.
Right.
My gosh, man. Measured Man. Go. I thought you were gonna go. What happened, bro? Are we that good? We're that entertaining? Bays let it all out.
Oh, I will. Thank you for the $5. Thanks. We gotta get you as a host on Tony Hinchcliffe. Because you and him got something in common. You both love talking shit to the viewers and ripping them apart. We gotta get you on stage with them.
Oh, that would be a good one right there, bro.
I'm sure you know a guy you can make a call.
Yeah, I'm sure I could. But what is he gonna want with me on stage? I'm just a comedian talking shit on a political.
Exactly, you're a
commentator.
comedian. The whole point of the show is
I'm not actually like really funny though.
What are you talking about? You're one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. American Discourse. Watch that video that I made covering you the other night twice.
I did.
Oh,
I watched
yeah,
it
yeah.
the night he dropped it, and I woke back up and said, I need to watch this again. I laughed so hard.
We got it. Which one is that?
The one with the drama.
Oh, the one that I made the song about?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Dude, I played that video for my dad in the hospital. My dad thinks you're hysterical too. He was cracking up.
I gotta see it. Okay, we'll watch it after this.
It's
Recovering
so
Jessica says both recovery 2.5 years. I'm recovering who I am.
Love
Good. I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, that's perfect. I'm glad to hear that. Congratulations. 2.5 years is massive. 2.5 years is massive. I've been clean off heroin.
I'm at 2.5 years
since
myself.
2012. It's been 14 years. Well,
That's
13
shit.
years.
Nicely done.
I wasn't even keeping track. What's today? Today's Friday. So yeah, Monday was 3 years for me.
Christy, really? Congratulations, bro.
Yeah,
Really nice.
unbelievable.
Christy is donating on behalf of the mods. Thank you, Christy. Keats, not that Lance, Mod Lance. Oh,
your boy.
yeah, the homie, ex Illuminante. Right? Is that Is that like the new XXX Tentacion, like XXX Illuminati? Illuminating that I'm a grifter. Okay. I love you all. Thank you, Christy. Measured man. Oh, man, bro. It's getting past your bedtime, dog. It's 18 minutes from the last time you said you're going to go to sleep. Dankster Intel. Yes, you are that entertaining, but you speak truth and teach. LOL. Laughing face question mark emoji. So I'm out within the next hour or so. We're not going to be on that much longer. Thank you for the super chat. I know Baze has a show he wants to do. So
I put the link for this live in that chat, and I already pushed it back. So we go as long as you guys want. Don't worry. I told you I took my nap before, so I'm doing the double.
Look, this TPUSA suing people, sending out paperwork, telling them to stop. This reminds me a lot of this situation. Alexis Wilkins has been suing or has started suing 3 people. One of them is a friend of mine, Sam Parker. Do you know who Sam Parker is? Right here?
Yes.
Sam Parker. So base Sam Parker is being sued by Alexis Wilkins. Okay. So I made this post. I'm sorry. Americans for Transparency made this post and I reposted it. Americans for Transparency exclusive. If you're not following Americans for Transparency, I'll put the link in the description. You need to follow them for any. I'll put the link in the comments and I'll pin it. You need to follow AFNPT Oregon X because they do investigations and I developed their website and I helped them do a bunch of stuff. So Alexis Wilk, this is a very interesting finding by them. And I think this has been shown before, but they put it out and they made a really good connection. So Alexis Wilkins is suing someone for calling her a honeypot. If you don't know who Alexis Wilkins is, this is the paperwork. I'll show you who she is. Alexis Wilkins Cash Patel. So it's Cash Patel's girlfriend. She's the country sensation. All right. This is her. All right. Now, what's interesting about this is she's a dime piece and he's not. And she's also
What do
affiliated.
you mean? He's a handsome guy.
She's affiliated with PragerU, which is an Israeli operation, in my opinion. So I think it's very interesting that she's actually using his attorneys from his nonprofit to sue for being called a honeypot. But what is even more interesting is what AFNPT put out. She calls herself Honey. She actually calls herself Honey on her own Twitter, in her own words, multiple times. Today, my jam is American honey, homegrown honey, American honey. These are her posts, her account, her verified check mark. And now she wants $5 million from a man who asked if she was a honeypot. Bro, you cannot make this shit up. Look at this, bro. Today, this is Alexis Wilkins, 2016, 2017. Today, my jam is American honey by a lady. Homegrown honey. American honey. Homegrown honey. And it's links to whatever.
Thanks. When you were talking about her affiliation with PragerU, you also left out the part that she at one point, I don't know if she worked directly for TPUSA, but she has done work with TPUSA in the past.
Yes.
Just like Dan Bongino, who was number 2 at the FBI and was on the scene that day, his wife worked for Turning Point USA. So I don't know. To me, that seems like a really big conflict of interest when you got the number 1 and number 2 at the FBI and their wife and girlfriend both have business affiliations with Turning Point USA.
Well, you know what's even crazier is that the Charlie Kirk show is run on Salem Media Group. And Salem Media Group's chief strategy officer, Brad Parscale, is a foreign agent for Israel, registered with the government's Foreign Agent Registration Act.
Wouldn't that mathematically raise the probability of their affiliates, like women being an HP?
That's my thought.
Well, PragerU is under Salem Media. That's why I can.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that actually does, like all jokes aside, that makes it plausible that she could be an HP. Yo, it's so funny when all that stuff came out and they were talking about the lawsuits and people complaining. I posted like a picture at one point of Cash Patel and the girl with the picture of the computer, like Intel HP, and like nobody got it. Went over everybody's head. Intelligence, honeypot, Intel HP.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's something about her. She's definitely some honey. I'll tell you that.
Yo, Danks is wishing that Ad Fleet would make a video of her right now. Like Erika.
I don't know. Ad Fleet was one of the crew that hijacked Coach Collins' Discord.
We don't know what happened. Let's not jump to conclusions here.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Let's not jump to conclusions.
But if you do,
we don't know if it's Attack of the Mods Part 2. They could have been in the right this time.
If you want to help Sam defend, I think that it would be great, even if you could donate a little bit to Sam. I'll put the link. He is fighting a $5 million suit against this person who calls herself Honey, who is being sued for being asked if she was a honeypot. So I think it's very interesting. I put the link in my comments and I pinned it. If you want to donate to help him, he's already blown through $26,000 and they're trying to take him for more. So I'm sure anything helps for Sam.
Dude, the jokes I can make right now.
So yeah, I thought that was interesting. And not only that, I just think that using, like, there's so much more that Americans for Transparency has found and put out that I don't want to bore the chat with like all this stuff. But what they did find out is that Cash Patel was taking interest-free loans from his own nonprofit and he's in default on the loan. That's another thing. They also found that Cash Patel's lawyer, the Banal Group, is the same company that is suing Atlantic for $250 million. I don't know what's going on with that case right now, but the same lawyer that's Cash Patel's nonprofit lawyer is suing the Atlantic. But what's interesting is they received $8.6 million from the Make America Great Again PAC, which is Trump's PAC. So it seems to me that it's just a political hit party, the Banal Group and Cash's nonprofit. And so what's even more interesting is that 2 days before they sued Sam Parker, they received like $200,000.
I was literally going to say it. Someone in the chat, he's the welfare queen too.
Yeah, I think he might be some type of something. Danks, Tyler, guys, Tyler's gun won't fire. Thank you, Hidden Knowledge. Well, it definitely wasn't fired.
Yeah, it wasn't fired.
His gun.
The dogs would have found it.
But that's interesting. I'd like to know more about that. What's rolling around in her head? Danks quote of the week.
What are we talking about now?
I think I said that this week. Who are we talking about? What's rolling around in her head? Danks quote of the week. We should have a quote of the week. That'd be dope. For Sam. Thank you. All right. So let me go find that piece. Real Bays, right?
Which we're gonna watch the video.
Yeah, I want to see what video you guys are talking about.
It's so
it's the one with the AI thumbnail that you loved.
Oh God, bro. This one?
But this was
oh
yeah. You gotta jump towards the end. The funny part with you, I ramble a lot in this one. I give a lot of narration.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah. Go to when you start pulling up the pictures. Like his past issues with other people. And he just like fucking nuked this guy for like nothing. Yeah. Yeah, I can't.
Like simp for money.
Now I want you guys to pay attention to this image. Because
bro,
Danks puts
does this picture look like me? For real. Baze is loving this, by the way. Look at this dude, bro. Who the fuck is this guy? So ridiculous. Who is this guy? And what hat is that? Why is it dirty?
A lot of emphasis on this image. He's very, very offended that this person who said he wanted to do a show with him used this image for the thumbnail.
You make me sound so vain, bro.
No,
He's a very offended. It's so much more than that. It's so much more than that.
I know. I explain all that.
Somebody said I look like Twigs. I look like Lance Twigs.
What?
Whoa. That's because nobody knows what actually Lance Twigs looks like. Jesus.
All right, just keep that in mind. Pay attention. The
Thumbs
glasses don't even match. Right? Keep watching.
Bro, the fuck is that? Gray ass beard, like eyes so close together, like I have Down syndrome, bro. Dude. Come on, bro. What's wrong with Down syndrome? But if you have it, you shouldn't make someone look like they do, okay? I'd highly encourage that.
Yeah. Part of the reason I was laughing so much when me and Danks first started doing shows together, and we first started doing the Saturday thing with Kelly.
I gotta find.
I made the thumbnail and I used AI, and the AI Danks that I used made him look like a punchy Chinese guy. And he
remember that?
Yes.
No, I don't remember.
Don't lie. He's like, dude, why do I look fucking Chinese? And like, you know, Kelly being a girl, you do the AI, you know, you try to like glamour up. And like me, like my AI was looking funky, but I had ways out. You know, I had a couple loopholes. I had a whole thing of different images on my phone.
The problem is the guy asked me if we would do a show on my channel. I said, no, but I'll come on yours. But we didn't have a date or anything. And like, I think he's just creating a collaboration of like, these are people coming on my channel and all this and that. The problem is though, is he's going and he's putting in people's chats, donate to me. Like I'm not monetized yet.
He was trying to raise money to get paid promotions for the thumbnail with you. With that
Jeez,
image,
bro. He could have just asked me to make a thumbnail or for a picture at the very least.
That I could just remove my funky face and just, you know, Photoshop my own face in there and boom, I'm good. But I don't have a gallery of Danks's, you know, handsome mug over here on my phone. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? Close enough, right? Wrong. Danks was not happy about this. So I had that in the back of my mind when he's talking about this too.
Come on, man. Please just ask for a fucking photo. And then you go and you're begging for, it's just so, I don't know, man. I just don't like it. You know, if I have to teach somebody a lesson, I will. All right. And then you've got, hey, you know, not only on their own post asking for, I'm still not monetized yet, which sucks. All the subscriptions I have to do the show are coming due. I'm not making fun of anyone for like not being I was there. Okay. The problem is you're going and you're posting this in other people's Discords. And what really bothered me is that he went in your Discord while your dad had just had a stroke. And everyone is like apologizing and hoping that you're doing well and praying for you. And this guy with no like reading anything.
Yeah, he didn't read the chat at all. He didn't give a fuck.
No, he just jumps in. He's like, yo, copy paste. Here's my Cash App. And my wife loves it when I get paid. Do again. It's about $150 a month for streaming software, YouTube Premium, what I use for thumbnails, and a couple more. So anything anyone can spare to help out towards that until I get monetized, I would greatly be appreciated. My wife likes it much better when it at least pays for itself. I've got 3 different options for y'all. I mean, come on, bro. And then you go and you put this in my boy's Discord without asking him while his dad had a stroke. You know how much bullshit that is, bro?
Yo, not gonna lie. When you put it that way, it is pretty fucked up. You know, all jokes aside, I'm trying to make light of this now. But like, if you're going to promote your content in my Discord or any other, you know, person's Discord, number one, you got to make sure you put it in the proper section. Like me, Danks, other creators that have Discords, we have a section that says other YouTube creators or YouTube creators. And that is the whole point.
Thanks, I sent you an image.
So that people that, you know, we allow a platform for people to go and check out, and they could see other creators. Like, I want to help other creators. Danks wants to help other creators. But like,
this is the image, bro. This is the freaking image he used.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay.
Bro.
I am on Dank's side about this. This is bad.
You wanna, and then you put me next to fucking Brad Pitt, and like, I look like the fucking Asian dude at the casino that's just like laughing because he lost all of his money and he doesn't know how to cry because this is just so.
Yeah, Danks called me up. He's like, "Why the fuck?"
I support that.
I mean, that's what I used to look like when I was like 12 dabs deep and a couple blunts in.
but the funniest part is, if you look at me, my picture doesn't look like me either, you know. But
what? It looks a lot better than
that doesn't look like me. What are you talking
It's giving
about?
Russell Crowe.
No, but Danks
caught me. I'm like the guy in the corner watching you guys have a threesome on her.
No, but I photoshopped a real picture of myself to cover up, that monstrosity on the left. And Danks like, "What the fuck? You put a real picture over yourself?" Like, he caught me right away. He knew it. He's like, "How come you got a real picture and I don't?" I'm like, "I don't have pictures of you." He's like, "I'll send you a picture right now."
And we know this happened.
Yeah, so when Danks was going off about this whole thing with this other guy, I had that in the back of my mind. Hold on, you got to go back to the video. Just fast forward a little bit. We don't got to watch the whole
Chrissy,
thing.
she says, "I'd help, but I'm sure they would get demonetized." What are you trying to say, girl? What are you trying to say? My DMs are always open. All right, so this video right here, right?
And like, if you're gonna do it, you got to post it in the right spot. You don't, brick the main chat.
Fast forward it like 2 minutes.
Where?
Get back to you talking. Right around there. Yeah, that's fine. Their chat. Dank's like, "What? What are you talking about?" Yeah.
Pissed me off when I heard that about Baze. I was so mad. Anyways, moving on.
Are we moving on though, Danks?
Multiple topics that are like the most fascinating things possible, and also the most.
See, now Danks was going to let it go, but then apparently this guy seems to be a nice guy, and Danks was getting a little pushback in the chat, and people were sticking up for this guy and saying, "Hey, maybe he made a mistake. Maybe maybe you don't know what you're talking about. You don't have the whole story." And that kind of rubbed Danks the wrong way, and Danks wanted to double down.
Whatever was. Oh, here. They said that image is fine. Okay, hold on. Let me ask you a question.
Yo, this is made
This
like
image? This image is fine? Of me? Bro, you're about to get insta-banned. Bro, this looks nothing like me. Yeah, the glasses, maybe, and that's it. And then they're not even my glasses, bro.
Not even his.
Hold on. We're not very generous with our kindness. JR Nana Boomer, you're incorrect. I'm very, very generous with my kindness. In fact, I'm probably more generous than most people. In fact, you don't know the whole story. And I told the whole story.